Here's the trap of trying to be the one who's reasonable. If you think that it's going to garner favor for you from the other side by showing them how much, you only care about your kids or you only care about this thing. And so therefore it's going to work in your favor to get the thing that you really want. That is a massive trap. And believe me, I've seen this so many times as a lawyer, and I'm going to tell you why it's a massive trap and exactly what you can do instead to gain leverage and actually get back to the place of where you want, which is the reasonable place. Okay? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Rebecca Zung. I am the leverage lawyer, and I've been doing this for a long time. And I'm here to help you get the results that you want from your litigation or negotiations or issues with that high conflict person in your life. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here, and make sure that you just check in and see that you're subscribed so that you can stick around and hit that bell so that you know when we have new videos go live for you. Okay, so if you're the one who's constantly trying to be reasonable, trying to be fair, trying to be the good one, trying to look like you're being, the easygoing one, and you're telling yourself, you know what, just stay calm. They're going to see it. I don't want, people to think that I'm the one who's also escalating it. It's better to just not make waves. You think that maybe they're going to meet you halfway by doing this, and everyone's going to see that they will not. And you probably already know that. You've probably already figured that out because you may have been running this little experiment for a long time, maybe months, maybe years. And every time you give ground to prove that you're reasonable, they end up taking the ground. They just act like, okay, well, I was entitled to that anyway. And you didn't do anything for me. It was mine to begin with. And then they go in and they demand more. And you're not losing because you're wrong. You're losing because they are better at you at playing this game of constantly manipulating to get what they want. And the reason why you're trapped in this is because they are addicted to the dopamine loop of litigation and the dopamine loop of chaos, and they don't actually want to get this thing resolved. That's the trap. Okay. Because they might tell you they want to get it resolved. They may even say you're the one who's dragging this thing out, but that's not the case, right? So the trap looks like, you're starting off thinking that everything's going to be reasonable. Why should you both pay attorney's fees? Why wouldn't we all just want to come to the table and get this thing over with so that you can get on with your lives? Whether you're dealing with this in a divorce, business, probate, defamation, whatever it is, employment, who wants to be stuck in this horrible hell, right? Why wouldn't you want to rather just be, going to increase your career, make it better, be, showing up for your kids, enjoying your life, going on vacation, falling in love again, or going to that new job and advancing yourself in other ways that are creative and beautiful and all of the things that you are meant to do on this planet. But the trap is that they actually take advantage of the fact that you're kind and you're good and that you're going to be the reasonable one. And so this pattern continues and it actually ends up costing you because you just end up slipping, and what you thought was going to be the reasonable ending, you end up just going, you know what, I just want to get this thing done. I just want to be over. And then you end up, going for less and less and less than what you would have in the first place. And these concessions, these little bits that you give up are, they add up, and then you end up further and further and further away from where you want to be. So the distinction is that you don't want to think about what's reasonable. You want to think about, and this is kind of counterintuitive, especially for the person who tends to be reasonable, is to create leverage. And most people say, I don't want to fight, I don't want to do that. But if you don't do that, then you're never going to get back to that place of what you think is fair, what you think is reasonable. So I always tell people, yes, it's counterintuitive to what you want, but if you want to put them in a position of that pressure, pressuring them to feel that motivation, to feel that incentive, being incentivized to want to come to resolution, then you have to build leverage. And the way you build leverage is you put pressure against their ego, against their image, against how they look, by using their own behavior against them. So instead of saying, you're always late, because then that doesn't hold credibility, you want to say you were late 87% of the time. Okay. And you show the proof of that, through whatever that is, whether it's witnesses, emails, whatever. And, um, and then you can get them to be in that position of wanting to be reasonable. But it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that happens, it's a little bit of a long game, but you can get there by documenting everything and then finding those patterns and then creating those exhibits. And those exhibits look like charts, they look like graphs, they look like whatever it is that you need to do to demonstrate and distill down the most important facts so that you don't look like you're the unreasonable one on the record, so that you don't look like you're the one who's just being emotional by saying, oh my God, I can't believe they're getting away with this. How did they get away with this? I just talked to somebody yesterday. They said the same thing to me again. Well, the reason why is there's no narc police out there. There's nobody out there to go, hey, you can't do that. The way you get this resolved is by creating and building your leverage and then unleashing it at the right time. Timing is absolutely everything. And you want to be the one who's controlling the frame, who's controlling the narrative, and setting that bar, right? Rather than them constantly moving the goalposts and then the bar keeps moving, moving, moving. You want to be the one who's in control of all of that. And the only way that you can do that is by creating and building that leverage. And the reasonable person trap only breaks when you see the pattern of concessions clearly on paper in a structured file. And if you want a tool that helps you capture the record of your own positions and their positions and how to build that leverage and the moments and the contrasts and the lies and the discrepancy and the manipulation and all of those things, that's exactly what I built Slay AI to do. It's a patent pending private platform based on my 25 years of trial work. It's free to start. Just go to slaypro.ai, and the link is also in the description. So being kind is not the same thing as being effective. Okay. In high conflict situations, it's actually the opposite. It's actually the opposite. And the version of reasonableness ends up constantly changing because they're constantly changing. And you're trying to get to a place that they don't actually want you to get to. And so you've got to motivate them to want to by showing them the downside of what's going to happen if they don't come to a reasonable conclusion with you. So once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's the good news. And you can actually start working toward your vision and getting where you want to go. All right. So the next video I want you to watch is how to make high conflict people respect you in 60 seconds. So go watch that video next. And if this helped you at all, if there was a breakthrough, there's some insight for you, make sure you give this a thumbs up and you share it with somebody who needs to see this today. And just also check and make sure that you're subscribed here and you've hit that bell. All right. I am Rebecca Zung. I'm a leverage lawyer. Remember, leverage plus clarity equals freedom. And I will see you in that next video.